Hi everyone. So today we're going to be talking about your reference table page 3. So make sure you have that out. Okay? Reference table page 3 looks like this, and we've looked at this map before, but today we're going to try to identify the geographic or terrestrial coordinates of different locations on this map using latitude and longitude. So this is, remember, a map of New York State. So we're looking at locations in New York State today. So let's zoom into this area right here. The numbers on this map are very small, right? So New York State is a very small part of the entire world. So um even though New York State has different latitudes and longitudes, as you can see, your different numbers, the specific locations within New York State are so small compared to the rest of the world that we need to use a unit that's even smaller than degrees to identify the specific latitude and longitudes of those different locations. So today we're going to be looking at um, units that are even smaller than degrees that will help us identify a location on New York State. So if we zoom into this location, you'll see 42 degrees here and 43 degrees here. So what if I have a location here in New York? How many degrees latitude or longitude would that be, right? In this case, we're looking at latitude, horizontal lines. So how many degrees latitude would say this location be? Before we ask about that or talk about that, remember, New York State is in the north of the equator, okay? So all your latitude should be north. So this is 43 degree north and this is 42 degrees north. This whole thing is 1 degrees of latitude. From 42 degrees to 43 degrees is 1 degree, right? But if we want to break that down even smaller to figure out a location, say over here, what this would be, we actually use something called a unit called minutes. I know you've heard of minutes in terms of time, but we use a different type of minutes for latitude and longitude to break it down even further, right? Even smaller. And this is the symbol for minutes, kind of like a small apostrophe on top, okay? So just like an hour has 60 minutes and half an hour is 30 minutes, one whole degree of latitude or longitude is 60 minutes. That means half a degree of latitude or longitude is 30 minutes. It kind of works very similar to a clock, but this time we're talking about latitude and longitude, which means from 42 to 43 degrees is 60 minutes, right? One whole degree is 60 minutes, and we use this unit. That means halfway, this area would be 42 degrees and 30 minutes, because one whole degree is 60 minutes, halfway would be 30 minutes. That's it. So we would say this location on New York State, the latitude would be 42 degrees and 30 minutes. And this is how you would write it, okay, with this apostrophe. So if we break that down even further, we see that if this is 42 degrees 30 minutes, this must be 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and this must be 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And we start at 0 minutes again at 43, because next it would be 43 degrees and 30 minutes here, 43 degrees and 10 minutes here, and so on. So this is 42 degrees and 30 minutes. And yeah, let's write that down in our note packet. On your reference table, page 3, remember, one whole degree is 60 minutes. So this would be 43 degrees, this would be 44 degrees. One whole degree is 60 minutes, which means halfway would be 43 degrees and 30 minutes north. And then a little more would be 43 degrees and 45 minutes north. A little before 43 degrees and 30 minutes north will be 43 degrees and 15 minutes north, and so on. So let's look at the map of the world, right? The United States is right here. This is United States. Alaska is part of the United States. And New York is just over here, right? Notice New York is so tiny that we can't use whole degrees that we've been using for latitude and longitude. That's why we have to use minutes to find individual places in New York, right? So whatever we're using in New York, whatever units we're using, latitudes will always be north, because New York is in the north of the equator, and my longitude will always be west, because New York is northwest of the west of the prime meridian. So no matter what, the latitude for New York, any place in New York, will be north, and the longitude in any place in New York will be west. Okay, so let's on our lab, make sure go to this map, please, and let's draw our latitudes on this map. So use a pencil and a ruler first, and then draw over with your color of choice with color pencil. So this line would be 41 degree latitude north. 42-degree north, 43-degree north, 44-degree north, and 45-degree north. It's okay if your lines are a bit slanted as long as you're connecting the numbers. Next, let's draw dashed lines to represent our 30-degree minutes, right? Sorry, 30 minutes. So if this is 41-degree north and this is 42-degree north, halfway should be 41 degrees and 30 minutes north, right? So let's draw a dashed line halfway to represent 41 degrees, 30 minutes north. And they actually give you these small indents, as you can see here, to figure out which way, how far halfway is. And then let's draw a dashed line here to represent 42 degrees 30 minutes north, one dashed line here to represent 43 degrees 30 minutes north, and finally another dashed line to represent 44 degrees 30 minutes north. Pause this video and draw all these lines. Make sure you to start with pencil first. Let's draw lines of longitude. Remember, all our longitude will be west of the prime meridian, right? So this is our 73-degree longitude, west 73-degree west longitude, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, and 79 degrees longitude. It's okay if your lines are slanted as long as your numbers are connecting. Finally, let's do our 30-minute longitude. So if this is 73 degrees west longitude and this is 74 degrees west longitude, halfway must be 73 degrees and 30 minutes west longitude. And they give you the halfway marks. Just look for it. This is 74 degrees 30 minutes west, 75 degrees 30 minutes west, 76 degrees 30 minutes west, and so on. So pause this video and draw all these lines. The 30-minute lines should be dashed. Make sure you start with pencil. So finally, your whole grid should look something like this. Remember, all your latitudes are north latitudes and all your longitudes are west longitudes. So your answer should always be northwest when you're writing latitude and longitude or the terrestrial coordinates of any place in New York. So let's look at Old Forge, okay? Say I asked you, there's this place called Old Forge in New York. Old Forge is right here. If we try to find the coordinates of Old Forge, here's Old Forge, right? This is 43 degrees. This is 44 degrees. These are our latitudes. Halfway, this halfway mark must be 43 degrees and 30 minutes north latitude. So if I want to find where Old Forge is right here, this must be 43 degrees and 45 minutes north latitude, or approximately that. And if your number is close to that, you're fine. So here's another example, same stuff, right? I'm just taking the latitude of Old Forge, which is 43 degrees and 45 minutes north, approximately. It's north because all of New York is in the northern hemisphere, north of the equator. And then I'm looking for the longitude. Longitude, here's 74 degrees, here's 75 degrees. Halfway must be 74 degrees and 30 minutes north, which means this area, which is very close to 75 degrees, is approximately 74 degrees and 55 minutes west, right? Sorry, this should have been west, not north. So all our longitudes are west because New York is in the northwest. So that's why our latitude comes first and our longitude when we write this. Our latitude for Old Forge is 43 degrees and 45 minutes north of the equator. And our longitude for Old Forge is 74 degrees and 55 minutes west of the prime meridian. And this is how you would write it: latitude first, north, and longitude second, west. So go ahead and finish up your lab and get ready for your lab report. Bye.